Welcome to week 7, and in this lesson we're going to get into taking our drawing from the model space and placing it into layouts and into our sheet so that we can get ready to print. Now, I talked about it last week in week 6. You developed templates. We're going to utilize those templates, and we're going to start out with this one, and we're going to for example, I'm going to do the civil drawing, and we're going to work on project 7A. So first thing I want to do, I want to go here and look at my blackboard, and you'll see here the civil drawing. It says open drawing file week 7 project 7A new. So that's on a right here 7A. It's a PDF. So I want to click on it, and when I click on it, this is what we're going to draw, and it's actually an off ramp, and we're going to draw this in our civil template. Now I made you a civil template. You guys last week you made a mechanical and an architectural template, and I went ahead and provided you with a civil one. And it is actually right here. I put it back on there. You just have to click on it, and I want you to save that. So first thing I want to do is I want to go into AutoCAD, and I want to open up that civil template. Now this is how I do that. I come in here and I'm just going to act like I want to start a new drawing and click on new. And you guys remember to start a new drawing from a wizard, and this is start from scratch. Well, right in the middle is use a template, and hit browse. And I've got mine on my desktop. And it'll be a DWT, so hit open. Alright, my civil template is opened up, and these templates are so great because you've got all your annotations already set. You have your layers already set. You've got your paper ready to go as far as your layouts to print off of. It makes things so much more efficient and so much faster. So I want to go into model space on this, and I want to look at this real quick. Look at my drawing, and now first thing I see when I start drawing on something, I want to find out what the scale is. That is the most important thing. Find out what scale you need to put it on, or your where you're working at might ask you to put that on a certain size paper. So that will be the major determiner of what scale you're going to use. So first thing, you got to either find out the scale or figure it out for yourself, and then go from there. That way you can go ahead and set your dimensions, your annotations on your annotative scale, so you can go ahead and start putting dimensions on as you draw it, and that way you don't have to go back and redo dimensions at the end. You've already got them done. So we're going to jump into this, and I'm going to start drawing this. This is an off ramp, so we've got a 30 foot, 30 foot, and you got a median that's 20 foot. So I'm going to jump in here. We're going to start drawing this. I'm going to hit line, and basically I'm just going to put me a line, start from here. I might make sure I'm going to turn on my object line, and I want to set it current, and I'm just going to hit line from up here and just shoot it across, just like that. Now this has got my line weight on. I want to turn that off, and I want to offset 30 foot. Make sure you hit your foot sign when you're doing this. This template's made for the engineering. Okay, so that goes to show me that I won't have to make this quite a bit longer. So we make that, and then we need to do another offset. This time it's going to be 20 foot. It's going to be for the median. And then we're going to do another 30 foot offset, just like that. Let's go back and look at the drawing real quick just to make sure we're on the right path. we got all that, and then we're coming down through here. The width of this road here. This one, forgive me for that. There's not a dimension on this one, but it's 30 and 30. This right here would be 60 foot across this road right here that crosses. So we're going to put a line, and I'm just going to find just a place and just pick on it and click it up through here. And I want to do an offset, and it was 60 foot. Click there to there. Alright, we got that much of it done. These also have center lines in them, so I want to offset. Half of 60 is 30. And you see what I did? I done 30, and I didn't put no feet on it, so I done 30 inches. So I have to go back, hit my offset 30 foot, put that in there, and what I do for that center line is click on it, come up here, and change it to center. So much easier is that you change it as you go. And I want to make sure something on here. That center line doesn't look right, so what I did was, let me go back and show you. That center line should have a center line mark. So what I want to do is I come up here, layer properties, and look at my center line. It does have a center line on it. My object line has a hidden line. That shouldn't be. That should be continuous. So I'll hit continuous on that one. So you'll have to fix that on yours as well. I'm just trying to figure out why the center line's not showing up. Alright. We'll come back to that in just a minute. Let's go ahead and get this drawn in. Got a center line here in between that. Offset 10 foot. Went to the wrong side. Grab that. We'll change it to a center line. Alright, and I'm going to do some trim work on this. Alright, we've got our overpass done. Now I want to go back in and look at my drawing again. So coming off 90 foot off this side and 180 there will be your center point. That's pretty easy. So 90 and 180. So I'm just basically going to offset at 90 foot. Enter. And then I want to offset again at 180 foot. Enter. There's my center point. Come back in there and let's take a look at that again. We are going to put a radius of 140 foot and 160, 140 and 160. So basically grab your center point and do 140 foot, and then we're going to space bar it again and do 160 foot this time. 160 foot. And let's check that one right there. It doesn't look right. Radius is 160 foot. Okay. This one here is 140 foot. So we're right. So let me go in and check myself. Okay. That will work. Radius of 50 over here. Radius of 15. Okay. Radius of 50 and 15. That's going in here. So that's 50. This was 15. So basically I would come up here and fill it. R for radius. I'd do 50 foot. Enter. And hit that to that. And of course we lost some down here, so I'm just going to stretch that out again like that. Do another fillet, and we're going to do a radius. This time I'm going to do 15 foot, and you catch this side here into this and smooth it out like that. And it's bad to want to do that when you do a radius, so you just have to grab that and I'd pull it right back up there. No big deal. And then we just do a little trim work and clean it up, just like that. Alright, it's got that all cleaned up, looking good. I'd stretch this down just a little bit. Stretch that center line just a little further. So we got that part of it. Now we got to get all this in here, and we'll just about have it. Radius of 15 is perfect. Do another fillet, or we could do a tan radius. That'll work. This to this and do a 15, or was it 50? It's 15. 15 foot. Click on it, click this and this, and then do a 15 foot. Puts that in there. Then you can just use a trim, right click and enter. Come here and just kind of straighten it all up. Alright, that quick and easy, we've got all that straightened up. And what I want to do is I'm just going to pull these together here, pull it in, leave myself a little bit of a center mark on that. And I want to change that to a center line. Alright, we got that taken care of. So now I just go in there and put some dimensions in it. Radius. And this was a 1 to 60, so that's the first thing I need to do. Before I start putting dimensions, I need to come down here and change this to 1 inch equals 60 foot. And I don't have one, so I have to hit custom right down here at the bottom, and we've got to change it. We got to add and do 1 inch is equal to 60 foot. And down here is the main area. We got to really put that in correctly. 1 inch equals 60 foot. Hit OK on that. Okay, and just make sure after you do that, you come down here and change it, because it won't automatically change it. We've got it set. And make sure and annotative. We got our annotative scale on. Good. So I want to go in here and put my radiuses. Click on this. You kind of bring it back there, kind of makes it look a little better. 140 radius looks good. And this one here was, you can put on the outside there, or you can put on the inside there too, just to show it's coming off that center point. 160 foot, that space bar, grab this one. Radius of 15, radius of 50. And it's kind of following that around like that. It's perfect. Uh-oh. I don't really care for that look, so I want to kind of twist it around here just a little bit. Just like that. And I got my object snap on. That's probably what's clicking on it for me. Sometimes it's hard to get it exactly what you want. Delete and just do it again. That's perfect. That's really what I want up here too. Let's hit radius. Perfect. And then of course your other dimensions that you have, and we might just jump on and might just do one of them just to put it on here and put it on there to perpendicular to the other side. But after you get all your dimensions in, We're going to go to B-size paper. So we're ready to put it on a sheet to print. And let's say I had all my dimensions done. Go on B-size paper. And you're going to jump in into this point. You need to go in and change your layer to a viewport layer. This is just a layer that's just made for viewports. Only reason it's made for viewport is because I got it turned off where it won't print. So set it current. Slide over here to layout and come in here to layout viewports. And you want to go up here and you can use rectangular, but I'd rather not, especially if you work with big maps and things. Do the polygonal, and it just makes a picture frame. You come down here and grab your object snap and just go around this thing, and your picture will stay inside of this picture frame, or your model will. Right click, enter. There is my interchange, and now you can see those center lines. See how they're actually coming in there now accurately? Alright. Well, first thing I do is I want to come in here and change this from paper space. I can't move now. I need to move this around. I need to get it scale correct. So go to click this to model, and then I can move it, and I want to kind of move it right over here in this little area just a bit. It was just about too big for the drawing or for the paper. Move it right here, but yet it might not be. Let's check the scale. Come over here, and we got to tell it what scale. 1 inch equals 60 foot. Wow, it was close. So over here I left enough room for notes if a person had to write notes on it, which, you know, in this case you would have to write quite a few notes. But this is 1 inch equals 60 foot, and good thing to remember when you get done scaling this in here, turn the model off into paper. That way you don't change the scale accidentally when you move your mouse wheel. Now, looks good. Let's see, let's take a look at a few things here. I want to turn on line weight. And it won't show it over here, so what we got to do, I want to do a file preview. Go File, Plot, and I'm going to click on this is a big plotter that I have. I'm going to click on that, and I'm just going to do me a quick preview of this, and this will show what it looks like before I print. Everything looks good. Now, one thing that I do need to change is my dimensions. I see that doesn't look right. So I close that out and cancel this, and I go back over into my model, and I want to click on these, and there are my object lines. They need to be dimensions, and you can see them in your properties too. They're object lines. I'll just click on all of those. That's supposed to be dimensions, and I'll change them right here really quick to dimensions, and I don't think I've got a dimension on there. Well, if I need to make one, I'll just come up here, click on this, layer state property. I'll make myself a new one. I'll call it dimension. I'll change the color, something that easy to see. And the line weight for a dimension should be continuous, but it should be default right there. That's perfect. So I'm going to set that current. I'll close out of this, and again I just grab those dimensions and we'll switch them to the dimension layer. That's perfect. You could change colors if that's something you don't like. Over to B size. Awesome. I forgot that one. If you have something you need to change, you can change it in paper space. Just click it back to model, click on it. You can do the work from inside here. Sometimes it's a little tricky, but make sure the scale doesn't change, and go back to paper space and hit your file, plot, and come in here again to the right plotter. I'll do a print preview of it, and there we go. And you're starting to wonder, well, you know what? There's something missing here. Where'd my dimensions go? Close out. Let's figure out what's going on here. Something's majorly wrong. First thing I would do is come up here and look at your dimensions in your dimension properties. And first thing I look at when I look at my dimensions, look across here, check that out. See how the printer's turned off? Just like the viewport's turned off. Click on that and turn it back on. Now let's go take a look at it. Do the file, plot, and we'll do a preview on it after we get our printer selected. Let's do a preview, and everything looks really good. Again, it's so important that you do your previews before you plot. When you start just not looking at things too closely and you print, a lot of times you're printing these drawings and designs on large size paper, and when you start doing that, that's very expensive. If you make a mistake, making one mistake, yeah, that's expensive, but you start making multiple mistakes, it really costs. So make sure that you use this print preview and just really look at it, make sure everything looks good before you print. And also make sure before you print that you fill out all of your data, and make sure it's in paper space when you do that, because this is where it's found. And all you have to do is just like scale, just double click it and come over here and then just type it in. 1 inch equals 60 foot. Put your date in, put drawn by, put everything in there. Sheet would be 1 of 1 because it's just one sheet. If we had 2 sheets, it'd be 1 of 2 or 2 of 2. But after you get all that done, you can go ahead and print,